Well, mute is not on. I'm just making sure I'm checking my settings, making sure there's nothing muted on here. Talk on community moderation. I don't know anyone. Message delay. None. Is there any blocked words? There isn't any blocked words. Community defaults. Just messages for review. Live. Hey, Bestykins. Okay, I can see your messages. If you was messaging me before, I could not see shit. That's why I'm like, I'm checking the stuff right now. Chat filter, top messages, show most messages, show every message. Okay. I think I just put up a I think I just set the setting to fix what might have been happening. Show every mention. Okay. So let me wait for my little peeps to catch up and follow you into this live. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, y'all. They pissing me off though. I wish they would stop doing what the fuck they doing. But thank you, Bestie, for messaging me. As always, you're the best. Oh, somebody commented free Palestine. What the fuck? Okay. I just touched a filter on here, so maybe that will fix it. I don't know. Hopefully so. Maybe so, maybe no. Not really sure. But yeah, I'm waiting for my peeps to get back in. If y'all coming in, just let me know. Just say a little hey yo. Drop a little emoji. Let me know. If y'all are in here, because you know that YouTube doesn't let me know. But yeah, maybe I'm guessing if certain spam messages come in, that YouTube would just shut down the chat, but I don't know why they won't just put them in for review or remove them. And I don't understand what the fuck is the point of having moderators if our moderators can't just remove them themselves. It's just weird. But yeah, I'll give it another like 3 minutes and wait for people to come back in, catch up. So we can get back into what we was talking about. Thank you again, Bestykins, for letting me know that the chats were not coming through, because I don't know what in the freak be going on with the chat. Oh. I'll grab it later. Hello, Carter. Hello. Everybody come back in. I'm going to give y'all until like 5-minute mark for us to catch back up on what we were talking about with the parasocial relationships. Sorry about the last live being muted. I'm not really sure what was going on with my comments, but hopefully they do not do that again. Alufimi, is that how you say your name? Hello. I'm doing just fine. How are you? Okay. Just waiting on my little silly Billy to come back in. Yeah, hey silly Billy. Okay. I don't know if tomorrow's ever gonna come back. I don't know if we're gonna see Serenity. I don't know if we're gonna see Brooks. We haven't seen him so far. Hi, Jessica. Guys, do not comment anything weird, because my moderators will get you up out of here with a swiftness. They are very quick. Okay, extremely quick. Hi, Jessica. Okay, I don't know what's going on with that person either. Hiro Rumi, however you say their name. Silly Billy or Yana, if y'all can block them. Thank ya. Anyways, let me see. So when it came down to parasocial relationships, you don't know these people. Okay, you've never known these people. So you can't just be going up to people trying to touch their children, trying to talk to them. Yana, you are working overtime. I appreciate you so bad. Like trying to touch their children, trying to talk to them. Like, and don't get me wrong, y'all. I get it. Like, you see somebody, especially if there's somebody that you looked up to, somebody that you grew up with, somebody who was impactful in your life through their art. I get that, right? That you want to tell them how much you appreciate them and stuff like that. But it's just like, you have to treat people like they're human beings. At the end of the day, all these people are people who are talented enough that got noticed by most of us, and now we know of their talent. Oh, well, some of that, Godmom or Auntie Core, I don't know what to even call myself. It's Sit in Love. Hopefully they're a little bit better. Hopefully they're not teething or anything, because that's the worst. But yeah, like, I understand it. It's crazy, but we have to see these people as just talented people that we know of. They're not gods. I'm sorry, they're just not. It doesn't matter how talented they are. It doesn't matter how beautiful they are. It doesn't matter how impactful in your life they were to you through their art. At the end of the day, we need to treat these people like they're people, because they're no better than any of us. They're no better than any of us. That's the reason why it never shocks me or surprises me when somebody's getting arrested or somebody's going to jail for, being a P3 or something like that. Like, it never bothers me or really shocks me when you find something else. It's just like, okay, what made them so different from the rest of us? You know what I'm saying? What about this person made them, I guess you can say, what's the word that I'm thinking of? What's the word, y'all, where it's like, they don't get it because of this. Like, this doesn't happen to them. Immune. There we go. This what makes them immune to imperfections. What makes them immune to being a bad person? What makes them what makes them not be that? What criteria did they meet to avoid those type of things? You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Carter. I appreciate that. And when you sit back and really think about it, what makes them so different from us? They have money, so they have fame, so like what makes them so different or so like astronomical or idealistic or whatever that separates them from normal human behavior? There's really nothing. There's nothing. Oh, you know of them, so that means that because you know who they are, that means that they can't act poorly. Because you know who they are, that means that they can't be, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My day's going fine, Carter. Thank you. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where this mindset comes from, where it's just like, you have to put them on this pedestal. Why? They can model in some clothes. They can hit a high or low note. They can dance on beat. And now that means that they're perfect. That automatically equates to them not being human. That automatically equates to them not being, you know what I'm saying? So like when stuff with Bill Cosby happened, it's just like, okay, he's a man. He's a human man. He was on a TV show. Okay. Same thing with people who be thinking they're above the law. Like Chris Brown. He went to Europe a few years ago, beat some people up. We don't tolerate weirdos and negativity, period. Thank you, Gotta Bean. He beat somebody up in Europe, something like that, allegedly. Beat somebody up or something like that. And then he flew back to America, avoided all that stuff, right? And then went back to Europe and acted a fool again. And thought that they wasn't going to nab him up because you Chris Brown. They don't give a fuck who you are. They don't care who you are. So, you think you're above the law? You think that you can just mistreat people just because you are you? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the weirdest thing to me. And like I said, again, I get it. Because, for instance, I love Halle Bailey. I love her, okay? She is my Ariel. Her music is so impactful to me. Seeing the way that she inspired our young girls just from her being on a screen, sharing her talent, sharing her art. She was so impactful to Black people in general. Just like Chadwick Boseman playing Black Panther. He was so impactful for us. Seeing that representation to the point where like he felt like family. When he passed away, me and my best friend were in literal tears. We cried because he literally was that impactful in my life and her life and our community's life, right? So I understand wanting to go up to that person and tell them like, I really appreciate you and your art, what you brought to our communities, what you brought to our world, what you contributed to the art form. Like, I know you want to give the accolades and all that extra stuff. You want to tell them how much you care. You want to show them how much you love them, right? I get that. But at the same time, we need to stop treating them like they're like not one of us. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you don't go into it, putting them on this pedestal, if you don't go into it, making them like these idols, the interactions will be so much better. So like for instance, Anthony Mackie, he was just under fire a few months ago because he had a weird interaction with people at a club. People were mad because they would come up and be like, Anthony Mackie, I loved you in this and blah, blah, blah. And he just wouldn't, he wouldn't really be feeling that. He wouldn't want to take a picture. He wouldn't want to, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't really want to be feeling it. And people was just like, how are you as a celebrity not wanting to take pictures with your fans? We're trying to appreciate you. He doesn't have to take a picture with you if he doesn't want to. And I hate people who say the thing of, oh, it's part of your job. It's part of the gig. People not getting my permission to touch my body is part of my job. So now I don't have bodily autonomy. Now I don't have control over consent of my body just because you saw me in a movie. You saw me on a magazine. You see me in a show. You listen to my music. Now all of a sudden that gives you automatic rights to touch me. That means that I have to talk to you just because you know of me and I've done something that apparently impacted your life in some way. And it was so funny because literally while everybody's bitching and whining about him not wanting to take pictures with fans and all that extra stuff, right? Bitching and whining and people dogging him, talking about, oh, you're not even the best Avenger and all that extra bullshit. Fuck you, whores, first of all. For all the people who were doing that, there was a girl who had came out and said that she saw Anthony at a club and she approached him like a regular person. She came up and she said, hi, I'm gonna call her Hope. She came up and was like, hi, my name is Hope. What's your name? And she said she could see like I'm Anthony. Like, like the, wow, she didn't Anthony Mackie, like she knows who he is, but she didn't treat him like he was some other. You know what I'm saying? She treated him like a human being. And in that interaction, they talked, they chatted. You know what I'm saying? She still did say that he said some weird things in their little chat, but it was nothing too crazy. But in that interaction, he was a lot calmer. He enjoyed the interaction. He was way more engaged because she treated him like a human. There was another person. It was a lady years ago. She was at a bar, and Jamie Foxx walked in. And Jamie Foxx came up to her, sat down, and she was just like, I think she was just like talking to him regular, and he mentioned like, oh, do you know who I am? And she was like, do you know who I am? Like, what does you being you got to do with me? And Jamie laughed because he was just like, this is crazy. I'm having a normal interaction. And it's like, I don't think as a society we are doing enough to fix this issue, right? Put up some regulations. I really do feel like there should be like I don't want to say a law, but some type of consequence for the fans, genuinely. Because some of the shit that I've seen is insane. Same thing with paparazzi. Some of the stuff that I've seen is astronomical. It's crazy. I've literally had seen a video where it was Anne Hathaway. I think she was in France or some type of Europe country in Europe. And she went over there and she literally had to tell these people, I will stand here and then you can take pictures from afar. Please do not swarm me. Please do not touch me. Please do not scream at me. I will stand and you can take photos. Why does she have to do that? Why does she have to tell you that? Like, what? I don't get it. Same thing with people who be trying to use customs and traditions to condone certain behaviors. I literally just watched a video of what was it? It was a black family, a dad and his son. They were in either Japan, I think it was Japan. And the son, I don't know if it's called a kimono for the guys as well, but he was in one of those outfits, right? And the son was kind of a bit far away from the dad. I would say about a good, probably 6-7 feet away from his dad. And the boy's no older than probably 10. He's probably maybe between the ages of 7 and 10. Little boy. And he's posing for a picture. He's trying to get his picture right. And out of nowhere, this elderly Asian man comes up and starts touching the boy. And the dad had a startled reaction. He's rushing over, excuse me, and he realizes that the elderly man is just fixing the son's outfit and, getting him ready. And you can see on the boy's face, he was also reasonably startled because he was just why is this strange man touching me? And literally the dad, he realized that the interaction was nice and calm. So he let the man fix his son's outfit or whatever, right? And then he told the boy, pose like this and, put your head back. He was, directing him on how to take a good picture. And it was a cute little moment, right? But I commented and I said, this is cute, but let's make sure that we're not just touching people without their permission, especially not touching their children. Or at least get the permission from the parents and the consent from the child before you put your hands on someone. This girl had the fucking nerve to reply to my comments and be like, it's very common in Japanese culture for the elders to care for their children and for them to do XYZ. So him coming up and doing that is perfectly normal. You know what else used to be perfectly normal? Slavery. You know what else used to be perfectly normal? And still to this day is considered a tradition. In some African traditions and cultures, they believe that cutting the it with the CL off of girls is traditional. Removing their cocoa bean is traditional. Just because it's tradition doesn't make it right. And for you to sit here and tell parents, let me make sure that I'm understanding your reply. Tell parents to feel comfortable with a stranger coming up and touching their child because it's traditional. You want us to sit back and be like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Just be perfectly calm, be perfectly okay, be perfectly, fine with a random person just coming up and touching your child or touching you because it's traditional. That's the same gaslight they give black people when they go to Asian countries. These people be trying to come up and take pictures with them. I saw a video, insane. Insane. I saw a video of a group of black women, African black women, sitting on a picnic blanket. It was probably like maybe six or seven of them. I kid y'all not. There was literally an entire group of Asian people surrounding them, just watching them, videoing them, taking pictures of them, and these women are just sitting having a picnic, eating amongst each other, talking amongst each other. And people were defending this behavior, saying, well, they've probably never seen a lot of black people at once before. I don't give a fuck. I've never met a full Native American in person. But you wouldn't be seeing me. Can I take a picture with you? I've never met a Blasian in person. You're never gonna see me videoing and taking. Are y'all okay? And why you think that this type of behavior is okay and normal is weird. If y'all are messaging, I'm not saying it. So hopefully, basically, let me know if anybody's put a message in the chat that y'all can tell me, because I know we had got some weirdos up in here. It's weird. So like this whole idea of people having access to you and I replied to that girl and I told her that exact thing. Like, no tradition, no culture gives you automatic rights to somebody else's body. No tradition or culture gives you the right to enter somebody's personal space, to say whatever the hell you want to say to somebody. I don't give a fuck how deep your tradition runs. I don't give a fuck how deep your culture is. You can take that culture and shove it up your ass. Yeah, no. So I'm just like, this whole thing with parasocial relationships, we're not doing enough as a society to address these problems. Because people are not objects. People are not gods. They bleed, shit, cry, laugh, just like the rest of us. Some of them got more money than others. Some of them are known by more people than others. But it doesn't freaking matter. It never mattered. At the end of the day. So it's we're not doing enough. Especially even with like guidelines and stuff. Like, they're doing something with social media apps where they'll have like certain guidelines and stuff up, but to me it's still not enough. There was a video where I saw, not even a video, a live, where these people were like in the blue, let me see if I can find it. It's like a it's kind of like a, what is it? Let me see if I can find it in emoji form. Mm-mm-mm. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. Nope. That's not it. But it was like lettering that was like blue lettering. And with this blue lettering, they were spelling out the F slur. Okay? They were spelling that out in these blue lettering. So it's not like this regular stuff. And you know how you can take somebody's comment on live, or at least TikTok. You can take somebody's comment on TikTok live and just like copy and paste. In the live, it was just a guy. I don't know if y'all ever seen. Y'all probably have seen on these weird lives, but it's like some of these Asian countries. Some of these people be doing like those challenges where like if you send heart me's and send certain things, they'll like pump up like this bag full of water and then it'll like burst all over them at some point. It's a hey, get your money. You know what I'm saying? It works. People like it. But like literally in that live, it was just constant F slurs, just hundreds of them. Hold on, y'all, the police. Just constant, repeated. And I'm just like, why isn't TikTok flagging this? Why isn't TikTok doing anything about this? Why aren't they saying something to somebody? Like, why aren't their accounts getting flagged? Right? And the only way, I promise you, whatever's going on, they don't need all those units. There's probably going to be 2 or 3 more cars that pass by. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, I'm literally sitting there like, why isn't TikTok doing anything about this? Why isn't TikTok flagging these people? The only way that you to get flagged, which I've gotten a strike on my account before, is from people reporting you. But even then, when you get reported, some of the stuff that you're getting reported for it don't even be bad. Like literally I had what was it? I had posted it was like a trend. I don't know how often y'all on TikTok, but it was a trend where it was like where's all the X amount of people at? I'm a visual learner. So it was like a trend where like right when TikTok released photos and chat, basically it was like a trend of people trying to say, oh, where's all the girls, let's say, where's all the black girls who like blonde wigs? Or, oh, let me see your hair when it's in a wig versus when it's like in a silk press. Let me see you in your favorite color. Like it was a trend like that, right? And one of the trends was, what was it? It was just like, let me see all like the thick girls. I'm a visual learner or whatever. Like, what does a thick girl look like? I'm a visual learner. And I had posted one of my photos in the comment section and TikTok flagged me. And I had to appeal and I was just like, why are y'all flagging this comment? Because I got reported before, replying to haters who would say terrible things to me. So they can come on here and call me an N-word with the hard ER, but then I can't call them a sewer rat. I can't say that intelligence is chasing after them and they're just too fast. I can't call them pathetic. What is this algorithm? What is this app? Like, why are we not more regulated on that? And then on top of that too, they're not regulated enough with our kids. I know some people have been complaining. About, I think it's either Facebook or Instagram or maybe YouTube. One of the apps is forcing people to upload their ID. I don't know exactly which one it is. I can't remember. But people are getting mad about that. And me, I can't, because I don't want kids on my page. I'm so sick and tired of the censorship. I'm so sick and tired of them saying that we can't say certain words or we got to speak in code or whatever the hell, just because there's kids on this app. Well, get rid of their asses then. Get rid of them. Keep them off my page. Keep them off this side of TikTok. I'm trying to talk to adults. Having an adult conversation with adults. Then on top of that too, you be talking, like if you just post a video, these kids just be saying stuff in your comment section and they just be saying the most stupidest thing on the planet. You could even spell. Why are you in here in my comment section saying anything? You can't even use proper grammar. You don't even know what we're talking about. But yeah, and still got to speak in code and all that stuff because there's kids on this app. I'm not no parent. And even if I was, these not my kids. So why do I have to censor myself just because there's kids on here? Y'all should do something about that then. Force people to upload an ID. There's plenty of websites that do this, where you upload your ID and then you upload a picture of yourself in your current time. And if it doesn't match your freaking ID, no bueno. So it's just like, why aren't we doing that for every social media app? And I understand people are going to get mad at me like, no, that's too much of a hassle. I don't give a damn. I want to be amongst other adults, so that way I don't get censored. That way we ain't got to worry about, certain advertisements, especially if you're somebody who's monetized on certain apps. Like, even then, like, certain advertisers might not want to use your content because they're family friendly. And here comes the fire truck. Is it the fire truck or the ambulance? I don't even know. They're about to pass in a second. Okay, something must have really gone down if they come in. Probably an accident. Kid boys and young kids always freaking... Oh. Is it over here? They turned their sirens off. Should we be nosy, y'all? No, let's not do it. I won't lie. Pay attention, focus. There's something always going on over here by my house every single day. But like, why aren't they doing that? It pisses me off. So I'm like, baby, if y'all can implement that on every single app, baby, I will be over the moon. I'll be over the moon. Because I don't want children following me. That's why I put my life for not for kids. Because I don't want kids following me. That's anybody really below the age 21. But know what? 18, Strikewater Island is hot. And I know right now they're trying to lessen the marriage age to 14. I don't even know. I don't even say I don't know. It pisses me off that we live in a society full of weak ass individuals who are just not willing to take the initiative to stop somebody bad from doing something. And it's what kills me is that it's always out of fear. And it's like, to me, the way I visualize it, it's like a school shooter, right? A shooter in a school, right? Not even just a school shooter, just like somebody who's going in with a weapon into a public area, right? I get it. Everybody's trying to survive. Everybody's trying to live, XYZ, right? But say if there's a hostage situation and there's only one gunman and there's 40 of y'all and one of them why aren't we doing something? We could all just jump him at once. The strategy is distract him this way. Somebody would come up from behind and we all swarm. If they're outnumbered, it's like ants to the fucking grasshoppers. And Bugs Life. Bugs Life radicalized me. But it's literally like that. We outnumber y'all 100 to 1. 100 to 1. And you're trying to tell me that we finna just sit back and let this happen? So let me get this straight. A 14-year-old can't drive, they can't vote, but y'all want to try them for adult crimes. Y'all want to allow them to get married. And it only applies to the girls. Funny how no women are asking why they can't marry 14-year-old boys. Interesting. Y'all all standing around letting this man attack our children. And y'all are backing it? It's insane to me that everywhere in the world, we have laws telling men they can't abuse children. Oh my God. Like, it's mind-boggling to me. Even when they try to make up the excuse about it in the old days. Oh, back in those times, back in the olden times, there were 30-year-olds who died young, so they had to have a young wife. They had to have a young husband. I'm sorry, were all the adults 10 years old? Well, no. Were they 15 years old? No, were they 8 years old? No, right? Right. They were adults who were well into their 20s or 30s before they passed. I'm not saying everybody lived until 80 years old, obviously. But the majority of y'all were adults. Y'all didn't need to have children young. You will never justify it. But y'all stood by and let it happen. Baby, put me on the fire. Go ahead and burn me at the stake. Because one thing you're not about to do is sit back here and pull no mess like this. It's with one of my favorite animes right now, Apothecary Diaries. In the storyline, sorry, spoiler. I'm about to spoil it a little bit, sorry. But in Apothecary Diaries, this is set back in imperialistic time. This is set back then when there was emperors and stuff. In that time period, it was the emperor who wouldn't marry women his own age. He wouldn't marry women who was his own age, right? He would only date little girls. He assaulted several of them. Like, he hurt so many of them that basically there was a law back then, and this is just in the anime, back then, that basically if the king touches you, you can't leave the palace. He had an entire separate house dedicated to dozens of women. These old women, they were just there. And I was just like, who are these women? What are they for? Why are they here? They're not maids or anything. They're just in this building. What is this? It had to be at least 100 of them. Kept in this place. Prisoners to this palace. They were all his victims. Then, one of the main characters, his name is Jinshi. He's the male lead. One of the main characters. He looked like his grandfather when he was young. He looks just like his granddad now. But when he was young, he kind of looked like a little girl, almost in a way, right? His grandfather, while he's old, came up, saw him, and got the same mindset to do the same thing, but Jinshi's mother protected him from him. And I was like, let me get this straight. Y'all normalized this so badly that y'all let this man not do it once or twice, but dozens of times, to the point where he had almost 200 victims. And then y'all held them hostage against their will. And y'all just let him do it? And it wasn't until his son came in and took over that y'all decided, yeah. It took the king, the emperor, the new emperor, coming in and being like, yeah, I'm not about to touch any kids, right? It took him coming in and doing that for y'all to finally be like, yeah, this was wrong. But y'all knew it was wrong when it was happening. So why aren't we doing more to protect our children now? We shouldn't even be having conversations like these. This shouldn't even be a conversation that should be able to even be spoken about publicly, let alone legalizing it. 14-year-old can't vote, they can't drive, they can't rent a hotel, they can't rent a car. Shoot, in some places they can't even travel on their own. And you want them to be eligible for marriage? And then the parents who are signing this, the parents who are allowing this, I'm just sitting here like, why aren't we doing more? Why are we putting things in place to even prevent this type of stuff? To protect our youth, to protect our kids, to protect ourselves. Same thing I talk about in my videos all the time. All the time. Why is it that people can just go into a hospital, have a baby, and walk out? But then in adoption, you got to jump through 1,000,001 hoops. Have to be, in some places, you have to be married. Happily married. You can't be separated or no bullshit like that. You have to have a good paying job. One that will match with the expenses that will be there to cover your child's care. You have to live in a nice home. You have to live in a nice neighborhood. You have to make sure your kid's going to go to a nice school. In some cases, I've heard of some cases where some of these caseworkers We going and talking to the friends of the couples, the families of the couples, calling the jobs of the couples, making sure, push this back a little bit, making sure that their stories check out. All of that. But you're telling me that people would just come into the hospital every day and just walk out with a baby. No mental health check, no financial background check, no neighborhood check, no family support check, no familial background check, nothing. Nothing. What? I don't get it. I just personally don't get it. And I don't know how people are not standing up to this when you know that it's wrong. Especially people who have children. Y'all know what I'm saying? It's like there's just not enough societal intervention in general. And that's the reason why we have literacy crisis. That's the reason why things like this, why we have a felon as president. I'll never get over that. Felons can't vote, but a felon could be voted for. We have people having to explain to people and talk to people like they're literal toddlers about why you can't touch me or touch my children. We have people condoning non-consensual touching. We have people arguing it, saying it's under tradition. We have people excusing other people's behaviors because they're popular. I literally saw a video or a post, I don't even know what it was, but a lady literally posted, I would let Trump assault me and my children and still vote for him. People shouldn't even feel comfortable saying some shit like that. Words like that shouldn't even feel comfortable coming out of your mouth. Bring back shame. Bring back shame. Because there's not enough societal intervention. If we have a parent coming on the internet comfortably saying, I would let someone assault my children, and nobody's doing anything. Husband agreed there needs to be so many more things available for new parents and less rules for adopted parents and something other than basically everything we have right now. Right. Getting my kids out of this damn country ASAP. Hello? And when I have the means and the wherewithal too, I'm thinking I'm gonna go to Canada. I'm not gonna lie. Canada is like the most comfortable to me because like it's they're most, I don't want to say American-like, but they're the easiest transition. I feel like that, or I think it's either Switzerland or Finland, which is the happiest place on earth. I couldn't remember. I know Finland, Switzerland, and Iceland are up there as like the happiest places on earth. But like this type of shit, I just don't understand how certain shit is able to slide. There's not enough societal intervention in a lot of stuff. So for instance, how can a police officer come on the internet, come into the public eye after they're being fried and dyed and laid to the side for unaliving a civilian, unaliving a child? How can they come on there and say, I was scared for my life. I feared for my life. That's why I pulled out my gun. That's why I pulled the trigger. You don't get to be fucking scared. And then you get to keep your job? There's not enough regulation for that. You should be able to prove, especially if it's a child, you should be able to prove without a shadow of a doubt that that kid was risking your life. That that kid was a danger to you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta look at this. Hold on. Oh, snap. Wait a minute. Sorry, my ADHD would not let me look. Would not let me not look. There's just a lot of stuff. How can you come on the internet? I don't know. I couldn't see. I can't see from way over here. I don't know what they got going on over there. But it's a lot of police officers, ambulance stuff. I might have to run outside, take a little quick peek. But like, how can you as a police officer say that you fear for your life? There should be, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are not at fault for what happened. That child better have a bazooka on their back. Like, that's how serious it should be. That you're almost guaranteed. You're guaranteed to lose your job, but you are almost guaranteed to go to jail over some mess like that. What do you mean you unalive somebody's child? What do you mean you unalived a civilian in their own home after they called you for assistance? And then you get to use a civilian answer. You'll never sell me the game. You'll never sell me the game. Because there's no way on God green earth, in between heaven and hell, that you can use an excuse like that. Sorry. Imagine if a doctor was just like, sorry, I let your family member down on the table because I'm afraid of blood. Not only am I suing you for malpractice, I'm also hoping that you get criminal charges as well because you were supposed to save their life and you did not. So I'm going to use the argument of doing what was the job, what comes with the job. It shouldn't even be normalized that you can unalive a child and basically have no explanation for it besides, I fear for my life. That's a civilian answer that you don't get to give. You don't get to tell us that you fear for your life. You don't get to fear for your life. And as a society, we let too much shit slide. There's not enough consequences for a lot of people's actions. It's a problem. It's a problem. It really is a problem. We shouldn't be discussing if 14-year-olds should get married. We shouldn't be allowing people to just walk out of hospitals with no intervention. We shouldn't be letting police officers use an excuse that they were afraid for their life as the reason why they took 8-year-olds. We shouldn't be allowing our presidential candidates to be felons. We shouldn't be allowing people to be able to make fake account after fake account after fake account, telling people to unalive themselves. There's too much going on. We shouldn't be allowing people to put their hands on other people's children or other people because it's their tradition. We shouldn't be allowing people to outrightly come online and say, yeah, I would let somebody sexually assault my child. Shouldn't be allowing that. Hello? We shouldn't be allowing people trying to condone touching or assaulting a celebrity just because it's part of the job. We shouldn't be allowing people to come on the internet and be openly dumb, openly stupid, openly misinformed, and not literally drag them to filth. Growing up, it used to be shameful to be these things. You couldn't openly come out and say that you're a P3. You couldn't openly come out and say no mess like that. We got the weird boy moms sexualizing their sons. There's a girl, a white lady, I think, either white or I think she's white, and her son's like half Asian or something like that, or black or something like that. I don't know. And she like has like this weird dynamic with him where she's just like, oh, the girls are, she'll read comments and be like, the girls are saying this, this, and this, that you're so fine. She'll post him because he has a nice voice. The boy's like 16. He has a nice voice, a nice deep voice. And she'll be like asking him weird, inappropriate questions for a teenager. They'll go out to dinner and she'll be constantly recording him just eating and stuff like that. You shouldn't even feel comfortable doing no mess like that. You should be so afraid of losing your job. You should be so afraid of losing your friends. You should be so afraid of being publicly shamed and humiliated that you wouldn't even feel comfortable pulling a mess like that. But because there is not enough of human intervention, societal intervention, this is why everything is running rampant here. And it's like, it's crazy in America because in America, a lot of stuff is normalized that shouldn't be. And if you go to other countries, they don't play that. So people be like, they'll try to make an excuse and be like, that's too hard. You can't control people. You can't do that, making excuses. But then there'll be a country that certain things that you do are just not allowed. In certain countries, they don't even have guns. In some countries, their police officers don't even wield lethal weaponry. A taser is all they have. A taser is all they need. If they even need to use that. In certain countries, you can be arrested for disrespecting a customer service worker. There was a lady who got one of my people that I follow. I think I'll talk about Cupid on here. One of the people that I follow. She literally talked about how a girl that she knew got arrested because she cussed out like a cab driver or somebody in like I think she was either in like an Asian country or whatever, some type of different country, foreign country. Cussed out the man. And it was like, you can't arrest her just because she said something to somebody. It wasn't about her just saying something to somebody. She went out of her way to be overwhelmingly disrespectful to these people. Like in America, certain customer service, I've heard of some horror stories where there was like a black representative and like a white customer who's upset, and the white customer would be like, my family used to own yours. In that country, you will be arrested for some mess like that. Saying some mess like that. They stand on business. But it's so normalized here. It's so normalized here, it's weird. Hi, Yasmina. Like, it's so normal when it's not. We have people arguing, once again, Cupid. She lives in Canada. She's talking about how they have universal health care up there. You have to wait a little bit longer to see your doctor, but it's free. People in America is just like, well, I can see my doctor next week. I don't have to wait. But you're also paying $300 to $600 a month for medical insurance. And you still have to wait. You go to the emergency room, you go to urgent care, you still have to wait. But it's so normalized here. And there's not enough people walking around being like, hey, so this is wrong. So this is yeah, we shouldn't be condoning this. We shouldn't be talking about this. We shouldn't be, there's not enough of that. I'll say it. There's not enough of me. Because one thing Koi gonna do is say something. I don't give a damn who get mad about it. It's wrong. Point blank, period. It's wrong and it's weird. You shouldn't be speaking because you're not smart enough to engage in this conversation. Those are things that we should be saying. These are the things that we should be acknowledging. But we're not. Because people are either too afraid or they believe it themselves. Or people, I hate this mind your business trend now. Everybody's telling people to mind their business. If we all just minded our business, we wouldn't have the police department. We wouldn't have the fire department. We wouldn't have lawyers. We wouldn't have doctors, people who take care of other people if we all just mind our business. We make these jobs, we institute these things in our society because there are certain things that you just don't mind your business on. This is the reason why we have silver alerts and amber alerts, because that is people actively not minding their business. We have to put a cap on what is or is not worthy of us being nosy. Saw a video of a guy, white guy, some neighbor called the police, or a stranger called the police on him because he looked disheveled, right? And I'm sorry, y'all. He looked homeless. Some people say that he doesn't. He looked homeless to me. Literally, he looked homeless, but he was carrying his baby in a little baby thing. Somebody called the police because he looked like a homeless man who just snatched that baby from somewhere. Okay, his hair's all over his head. He looking raggedy. People in the comment section was angry. They was just like, this is the reason why you mind your own business and da-da-da-da. Personally, I don't see how that person was wrong for that. If you see somebody walking and the baby looks clean, they look fresh, they look brand new, and this person doesn't look like they belong anywhere, and you get a feeling of worry because you're just like, I don't know. And you call the proper people you're supposed to call in order to handle that situation so you are not getting yourself into a conflict, because that's what the police are supposed to be for. Crazy, right? I know. How are you the bad person because you did that? Now imagine this guy wasn't homeless, luckily. He was just a tired parent, a tired new parent. But imagine if that was the case, that this person was a homeless person who snatched his baby out of a park or something, and we just minded our business. You know how many kids are snatched? Kids are abducted? Kids are put into the slave trade, sex slave trade, and all that extra stuff? Sex trafficking and all that? Human trafficking and all that? Because people mind their business. If we had more societal intervention, if we all just gave a fuck a little bit more, if we all wasn't scary little fucks, our country would be a much better place. Our world would be a much better place. Because personally, I don't think in any world, in any country, there should ever be a case where a police officer unalives a child. Ever. Especially when we see that they can see a kid with a big ass rifle go into a school just got done killing half a dozen children, and they can still take them safely home. We don't care enough. We're not involved enough. I personally don't believe that police officers should be able to just collect a dang badge like an Infinity Stone. How is it that cosmetologists have to go through more school than you, somebody who has a job that is literally life or death? How is that not mental health training, communication training? How are customer service representatives have better way of de-escalation and communication than you when you carry around a lethal weapon that could end somebody's life? We don't care enough. I believe there should be a trigger test. Genuinely, you being a police officer, there should be a trigger test to see how trigger happy you are, how jumpy you are. You fail the test twice, you can't be a police officer. And people always talk about, well, higher taxes. That's something that I would pay taxes for. Knowing that our police department, who are supposed to be there to deal with our conflicts, that's what we pay y'all with our taxes. Knowing that they are properly trained in mental health training, de-escalation training, communication training, interpersonal relationship training, all types of training. Being taught to go for your non-lethal before you're lethal, and properly training them to see if they're even eligible to be a police officer. That's something that I would pay taxes for. I don't care. Kids getting free lunches, make sure that our children are fed so they can pay attention to class because their stomach not rumbling. That's something that I would pay taxes for. Making sure that we have enough people in child protective services and everything like that, and putting in more money and resources into making sure that we're doing background checks on every parent. It doesn't matter who it is. Every parent, their finances, their support, their job security, their environment, their neighborhoods. Make sure that we're doing checks on all of that. So we have kids coming out better, not traumatized, not being in survival mode, not knowing what it's like to go hungry. I just got done watching a video of, not even a video, it was a post on TikTok. You know, they post pictures. And the prompt was, as a kid who grew up in poverty, what was something that you thought was a luxury as a kid? And my first thought was the book fair. The book fair, I couldn't get anything from the book fair. But there were some people who were in the comment section being like, getting cupcakes on your birthday. Being able to bring cupcakes to class. Realizing that Olive Garden is not fine dining. Having a brand new pair of shoes for school and not just for the new school year. And most of these things I could relate to as a kid. Growing up, realizing being in survival mode because people didn't give a fuck enough to make sure that my mother had the proper support system, to make sure that she was ready to be a mother. Then we got people just getting kids thrown on them because they happen to be foster parents, not doing proper backgrounds on them either. Personally, another thing that I would pay my tax dollars for is for us having schools, like orphanages, but schools for kids. I know that we kind of have something like that now, but like genuinely, like a boarding school for kids who are in the system. This is where you sleep, this is where you eat, this is where you learn. This is where you grow up. I will pay for that. To make sure that our future adults are getting set up for success. I will pay for that. To make our world safer, to make our world cleaner. I'll pay for that. Because I give a fuck. God forbid a bitch give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And we just don't have enough of that as a society, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick. There's just not enough. Like, and honestly, I don't feel like people are tired enough. I'm sick of it. When I say I'm so sick of it, I am sick of it. I want to see changes. I want to see movement. I want to see growth. I want to see safety. I want to see all of that. And I don't think that that's a hard thing to ask for. I don't think that that's something that's weird. The world is filled with so much anger and pain and suffering because enough of us just don't care. And it just pisses me off. So now, as a civilian, I'm sitting around looking like, okay, what can we do? What power do we have to stop stuff like this from happening? I can't believe as a 23-year-old, we're having conversations about letting 14-year-olds be married by grown men. I can't believe as a 23-year-old, we're sitting around justifying a police officer unaliving an 8-year-old. And maybe it's just me. maybe it's just me. But even mentioning something like that, even saying some shit like that, should have you removed from your job. Even feeling comfortable saying some shit like that. You should be so terrified to lose your position, so terrified to lose your job, so terrified that people will open an investigation on you for even mentioning some inconceivable bullshit like that. You should be terrified. That is the type of society and environment we should be living in. Where somebody like that wouldn't even feel comfortable having a thought, let alone saying it, and let alone bringing it to the table to be discussed. We're even living in a society now where they're trying to tell women, they're trying to investigate women who have miscarriages because doctors call them spontaneous abortions. Spontaneous abortion not on them, their body is aborting the baby for some reason. Right? Because people don't understand what an abortion actually is. An abortion is literally just the termination of pregnancy. It's just a termination of a pregnancy, meaning that the fetus cannot be born. Your body will expel the fetus if it is not developing properly, or if your body just don't want it. Right? Literally, I was watching a video where this congressman, I don't even know what he is, He literally was talking to a doctor, and he was like, you know, for colonoscopies, y'all can put a little, somebody can swallow a pill, and then the camera can go through your digestive system and out your butt, and then the doctor can review that camera footage and be able to tell you what's going on with your body internally. Can y'all believe that this fucking man went and asked the doctor? After the doctor confirmed, it was like, yeah, we can do that. After that, the man literally asked the doctor, so for women who are pregnant, can the doctors do that? Can they have her take a camera pill and then see what's going on with her pregnancy? The doctor quite literally said, no, Congressman, because if you were to take a pill, it wouldn't end up in your vagina. We have people like that writing legislation. We have people like that questioning doctors. People who went to school on if you can take a camera, eat it, put it in your stomach, and then they can tell you what's going on with the baby in the uterus. He's probably the kid who thought if you swallowed a watermelon seed, that you would, that a watermelon will grow in your stomach. He was probably that kid. But we don't care enough. We don't care enough. We're not mad enough. We're not angry enough. We shouldn't even be allowing. Y'all know what I'm saying? Are y'all picking up on what I'm putting down? We shouldn't even be allowing somebody like that to even be in office. You ask a dumb question like that, now we're opening an investigation on you. We need to check your credentials. Because for you to believe that somebody could take a pill and that pill will go into their uterus from their digestive system, the fact that you believe that that's how the human body works, to the point where you're able to make legislation about human bodies when you have no credentials to back up what you're claiming, we're not mad enough as a society. We're not pissed. We're not pissed enough because we're not doing enough. And it makes me sick. Makes me sick. But y'all, I've been talking y'all ears off for long enough. It's 10 o'clock. It's a Tuesday. Probably catch y'all on Friday and talk to y'all about some more fun, lighthearted stuff. I hope y'all enjoyed the live. Hopefully y'all picking up on what I'm putting down. We're all in agreement. We're all kumbaya. But I love y'all. I will catch y'all in the next one. I might be back on Friday. If not, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. I don't freaking know. But yeah, probably Friday around the same time. I love y'all very, 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 very much. Check out my videos, my shorts, my long form. Guys, make sure y'all are commenting. Make sure y'all are liking so YouTube knows that y'all are interested in the content. Even a small little emoji will be enough. Anything. Y'all know, could you block that person, please? Anything, any comment, even a little emoji, whatever. I remember hearing about one of the abortion laws that included something about a procedure to remove ectopic pregnancy and put. You are so stupid, making our laws the mirror. Yeah. So they're idiots. They're fucking idiots. And this is why, like I said, as a society, we don't care enough. Because somebody like that shouldn't even be able to even make laws about that. They should not be able to make laws without even having a doctor there. I feel like there should be doctors in our legislation. Like there should be doctors in our laws. Like in our lawmakers' room, there should be doctors who have to attend those meetings and give us stuff. But I'm not gonna ramble on any longer. It's late at night. Once again, guys, check out the videos. Make sure to like, comment, share. I'll read all your beautiful comments. I love you guys all for the beautiful support. Y'all are amazing. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Oh, let me call you. Appreciate my love for the combo. I had a very good kiddo tonight. Wish I could have been more active. It's fine, Sailor Billy. Take care of your babies. I just appreciate you even being in here. I don't know. Dummies are stupid, so we're gonna let them have it. Night, y'all. Love you. I'll catch y'all probably on Friday. If not, y'all probably see me like the following week or something. But bye. Okay.